안녕하세요. Hello. It has been a few weeks since my last confession, and today's story is all about the delectable, delicious, divine, beautiful Woo Do Hwan. Woo Do Hwan Shi. It was his birthday this week, so 축하한다, Woo Do Hwan, happy birthday, 축하합니다. Hope you're impressed with my Korean. I've seen nearly everything that Woo Do Hwan's been in, some of it twice, and at the moment he's filming a series about a boxer. It's called Hunting Dogs, and his co-star, one moment, the silly cow Kim Se-ron, has been caught on a DUI because she wandered off in the middle of day into some kind of municipal like electrical box or something, which is very annoying because we fans of Woo Do Hwan are desperate to see more content because he's been away in the military for 2 years. He's come back, his first acting job since coming back, I think, and we just want to see him. We want to see him moving, not just pictures in some magazine. And he posted a tiny little 8-second shot of him blowing out some candles on a boob-shaped birthday cake and licking the frosting off his fingers, which was just 8 seconds of pure delight for fans like me. But I'm sure in England most people would laugh if Emma Watson got caught on camera driving into a lamppost, but in Korea it's considered a huge faux pas, and so they were obviously thinking, do they reshoot all her scenes, or do they just go with it and wait and see if the public forgive her quickly? It's really annoying because it's one of Woo Do Hwan's first acting jobs as the main star, so really annoyed with you, K Se-ron, and I'm sure in Korea, being less forgiving, what they'll want to punish you with is to put you on some rehab reality show and film every single moment of your life. Then they'll get a panel of other celebrities and they'll have them discuss how you're doing, and you will then go there and answer to them and say, yes, today I was given electric shock treatment to try and get over my DUI experience, drunk under the influence experience, and today I went jogging with 500 other alcoholics, and we were then put into a room full of scorpions and stung repetitively because that's what the public needed to make me, to show that I was sorry. I was sorry for smashing up that electrical cable box in the middle of the afternoon. Anyway, I hope you are sorry, because if I was there in Korea, I'd probably come and kick you. I'd probably come and kick you right in the kneecap for doing that, because it delays my loved one from being seen on the square screen. So, as I said, I've seen most of Woo Do Hwan's stuff twice, and one in particular, his first one, I've seen many times. It's called Let's Go to Rose Motel, and it's like an Anne Summers soft porn movie, and he's in it. And thank you for doing that, Woo Do Hwan, because I watch it quite often, and even though his girlfriend's voice is very annoying, in England when ladies get annoyed or you know, when they start scolding their loved ones, their voice gets higher and higher and higher, and we get really annoyed, and we say, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And we repeat ourselves, and we just get higher and higher pitched and speak faster and faster. But in Korea, I've noticed that they speak all nasal, so hajima, shiro, be cute, kaja. And that's what they say. But they say, but they don't say kaja, because they say all nasally, and they're all very whiny and very irritating, and it's just so annoying. And I've noticed on quite a lot of K-dramas there's quite a lot of women like that, and I'd say to Korean men, run. You know, how can you listen to that voice for the rest of your days? I don't know. I couldn't at all. And I know it might sound impressive, my Korean, you know, I don't speak it. This is all just little things that I've picked up from Korean dramas. And I've probably just said, make me snails on toast, please. I've no idea. I was supposed to have said, 안녕, 싫어, don't want to, stop, 하지마. But, funnily though, what I do when I watch Korean, I pick up a word and then I go on Google Translate and I speak what speak it like hajima, or I was trying to work out how to say, would you like a kiss? And I know that hajule means would you like, and popo is kiss. So I was saying popo hajule, and somehow it came out as this. So I kept that screen grab for in case I meet Woo Do Hwan or Taemin, and I have no idea how popo hajule became that, but it was quite amusing, and I've tried to repeat it on several occasions, but I couldn't get it to repeat. I couldn't say it, so that's very annoying. My other thing is I saw a picture on Instagram of Woo Do Hwan, and here it is, and I think he looks rather like, so Warner Brothers, when you do another Star Trek, please cast Woo Do Hwan as Spock. He's perfect for it. He looks like it. He'd hardly need any makeup except some ears and maybe the pointy eyebrows, a bit of eyeshadow, and Bob's your uncle. I think he'd be marvellous as Spock, or Spock's offspring, or Spock's cousin, Spock's brother, just any Spock. He would be absolutely divine. And his voice is absolutely divine, so he could do mind melds, he could hypnotise people, he would just be delicious as Spock. So that's my opinion. He did actually, I read in some interviews talking about Hajiman dialects and things. There's a Daegu dialect that I've noticed, and I'm starting to differentiate who has a posh accent and who has a slangy accent in the K-dramas. And in Save Me, which was a TV series about a cult, and a girl was being recruited into the cult, and a schoolgirl, of course, they're all fascinated by school children, and Woo Do Hwan was one of the boys who kind of fancied her, but she kind of was with another guy. But it's always the case that there's one girl and about 5 guys. If only that was true in real life, it would be just amazing. Anyway, he saves the day. He's there he goes and saves her. So he said, but he has an accent, and he comes from Daegu in this TV series. And in an interview he said that he actually went to Daegu to learn the dialect. It's a bit like going to Glasgow to go and, you know, learn Scottish and the Glaswegian and you know how we can't understand Glaswegians. Well, Daegu is very difficult to understand as well, and Daegu dialect. And he said, this did make me laugh. He said he walked around the market trying to understand what people were saying, and he couldn't quite understand it. So if you imagine you're in Glasgow, in the deepest sort of darkest area of Glasgow, listening to people in a pub trying to speak Glaswegian, you probably wouldn't have a clue what they were saying. And he was the same. So he said, I ended up going to a fortune teller, and he said, all I could understand is something about being a policeman, and I paid her and left. I thought it was hysterical that he couldn't understand a word that she said, but he paid her the money anyway. So I did think that was very funny indeed. And apart from marvellous acting, he is a very good actor. I mean, I can tell. I know he's Korean, and I've watched so many K-dramas now, I can differentiate between somebody who's a bit crap and somebody who's marvellous, and he is actually marvellous. He's already won awards, and he's been acting for 10 years or more, I don't know. That Rose Motel, he was quite young, but yes, it was so nice that. Anyway, he does modelling, a lot of modelling where he looks like a doll. So beautiful, skin like porcelain, just absolutely divine and delicious and elegant, and he can wear big baggy jackets. Sometimes they put him in the most ridiculous clothes, I have to say. Here's an example. I don't know, I can't imagine him walking down the high street in that. I can't imagine he'd get very far. He'd probably trip up on the trousers or something. He does. Why did they dress him like a clown? I don't know. Or did they just buy those clothes for another model and that model didn't turn up, and or they just got his size wrong? Don't know. But also, what I find with modelling, I always think, and paintings for that matter. I mean, paintings, I can understand it a bit more, that if you're going to be sitting for a portrait for you know, 3 days, you do want to just put a relaxed, or, you know, sexy pose. This is my sexy face. No, I can't do a sexy face. I just look like, if I do a sexy face, I look severe. So I don't understand. I like to see Woo Do Hwan smiling. I think he's just so beautiful smiling. He's got the most beautiful smile ever in the world. Almost even better than Ricky Martin's, I have to say. And but in Vogue, in Elle, he always looks quite grumpy and just sort of staring off into the distance, like he's thinking, you know, what's for tea? I'm quite hungry. You know, where did my shoe go? I don't know who took my shoes away. Something like that. And I think they should be smiling. I don't know what's so attractive about looking grumpy. And an example of this is when I worked on a film, I often have to make fake porn magazines for people to be reading in the corner, and what I usually do is get some copies of Playboy, seeing as they're quite tame, and make our own cover. So, you know, if you see a tiny corner or something, it's only Playboy, it's fine. But it was on Madonna's film, I asked the assistant, can you go and get some Playboys please, because it was the same size as these, what I needed. So she went down to the, she felt, obviously she felt so embarrassed. I mean, nowadays you can just order it from Amazon, so your face doesn't have to be seen with the money at the cash till, does it? And but she did. We were in Battersea, and she went to the local Indian shop, and this lovely man, she said she was short, she couldn't reach the top shelf, so she had to be bold, and she had to say, excuse me. And she said, she said, we're making a film prop, and we need some magazines that are this size. She had the size of the magazine, and they have to be it's Playboy. He said, I don't have any Playboy, but I have here. And he had in a plastic bag 3 porn magazines that were the right size, so that was good. And but they were all in a plastic bag that was like 3 for £10 or something, I don't know. And so he got them all, and she didn't really, she didn't open it up and look at it, and she brought them back. And inside, when she got them back, there was 3 magazines. One really hardcore lesbian magazine that was obviously from one of those blonde countries that are very free and very open, and anyway, very hardcore, you know, blonde Europeans, probably from Greenland or Iceland or somewhere like that, where the nights are dark, so they have nothing more to do than be, you know, beautiful Vikings that wander around naked and experiment with all sorts of sexual positions, toys, the lot. And anyway, then the other one was like spotty teenagers on park benches, and that was quite disturbing in itself, and a little bit wrong. But you know, if I was a teenager, I wouldn't like to see a spotty bloke with a pretty girl on a no, that would still be wrong and horrible. So it was rather vile. And the third one, which was my favourite, was called MILF magazine. Now, going back to my previous stories, my previous comment on modelling about having the serious face, contrary to that, all of the models, especially this one that is burned into my eyes, onto my irises. One, she shouldn't have been called a MILF, she was a GILF. And if you don't know what MILF means, it means mother I'd like to. And GILF is granny that I'd like. And anyway, this particular GILF, she was she was standing holding her baby exit, opening it open. She had turquoise eyeshadow on, black curly hair, red lips, and she was holding her flaps open and smiling intensely. And the next, then the story, you know, there's also a pictorial story, and she was with a really hot, muscular black guy, you know, having sex from behind, and looking at the camera with a big smile on her face. And so that actually gives me hope, because I think, you know, when my pension comes and it's not enough to feed me in you know, a few years time, I can go and work on some magazine like that, and probably get fat ones as well, fat old bags. I could make my own one. I could make my own porn magazine, fat old bags, or do a porn site, fatoldbags.com, and I'm sure we'd get, even just for the fun factor, I think it would be hilarious. You could have I could really have fun with that, I think. So anyway, that's my MILF magazine story, and I shall leave it there. Happy birthday again, Woo Do Hwan. Can't wait to see you on the telly again. I'll probably watch some of your series again, and especially Let's Go to Rose Motel, of course. Anyway, annyeong, have a lovely time, and I hope that was funny.